Okay, Be'ezrat Hashem, Na'aseh v'Natzliach.
Amen.
Welcome everyone to Sunday night at David Chai Synagogue, chilling with Torah. Tonight, Parashat Pinchas is a very, very interesting parasha. I would like to acknowledge tonight's sponsor. We have a very special sponsor. It's Dina Dornbush, who is sponsoring this class in honor of her son, Joseph Dornbush, part of H&M Builders. Be'ezrat Hashem, that the same way that they are sponsoring this night and all the food that's here and all the Divrei Torah, Be'ezrat Hashem, that her son will have the merit for Zivug.
Amen.
And Be'ezrat Hashem, we have Besorot Tovot of a beautiful Shidduch, a lot of big buildings going up. Be'ezrat Hashem, we can always hear good things. Also, let's take a few more people along with us. For Refuah Shelema, I'd like to also say Refuah Shelema for Arav Yeshayahu Yosef Pinto Ben my father David Ben Zohara, my dear friend Noam Sion Ben Zachariah, that also needs a lot of refuah right now. And also for Zivug, for Itai Ben Chana.
Amen.
Limor Bat Margalit,
David Ben Margalit, Inbal Bat Jacqueline, Bat Chen Bat Jacqueline, V'leilui Nishmat Juliet Bat Saada. Be'ezrat Hashem, that all these Divrei Torah will be to the benefit of all these good Jewish people and Chol Am Yisrael. Okay, so this week's parasha, Parashat Pinchas, there's a famous story. The famous story of Pinchas, who takes Zimri, Ben Salu, and Kozbi Batsur. He shish kebabs them. He puts a little knife right through both their bodies. And then the rest of the parasha just talks about the families. And we know that there's a special merit that Pinchas got, that he also became Eliyahu and he became Kanai for Hashem. Several different things that we could mention. But tonight, I've been saving this class for tonight because this is something that almost every year, as soon as this parasha comes up, I take over a class that I heard maybe this week was the 6th time that I heard this class over. It's a class from Rabbi Joey Haber, a rabbi from Brooklyn, New York, who took the story of Zimri, Ben Salum, and Kozbi Batsur, and he gave the whole story. The whole story. The during, the before, the after, and it's really, once you hear this story, it's more than just a passing name in this week's parasha. You get to see the beauty of our religion, the beauty of Gilgulim, and the fact that you see that we don't know everything. It's not everything as it seems. Let's begin. The story begins in last week's parasha. At the end of the parasha, Bilam, after unsuccessfully not being able to curse the Jewish people, he is able to give advice to Balak. He says the Jewish God hates Zima. Take my advice. What was the advice? Try to entice them. What's the tactics that they used? They sent older ladies to meet up the Jewish people with trinkets and bracelets. So, no, look at this, beautiful bracelets for sale. You know, Jews love to shop. Yeah. And they came and they liked it. They said, oh, wow, how beautiful. What a beautiful jewelry. What a beautiful price. They came back another day. And again, they showed them some more beautiful trinkets, beautiful jewelry. They came back again. On the 3rd day, they tell me, you know, we have a lot more of what you like in the tents and at a much better price. This time, when the Jews went into the tent, it wasn't an old, ugly lady. It was a nice looking lady that began to entice the men. and they enticed him to drink some wine and to eat some meat with them, that eventually caused them to sin. How? The woman in the tent told them, please drink this wine and eat this food, and then they said, and worship this avodah zarah with me. Believe it or not, they were able to convince many Jews, and a Magefa started. That 24,000 people died in this Magefa. That was last week's parasha. This week's parasha, they tell us the name.
Hey, I figured out the trivia question.
Oh my God.
So last week's parasha, they say, it says over there that it was just that they sinned with Bnot Moav. This week's parasha, it says over here, "Vaytkor et shneim et ish Yisrael ve'et ha'isha." In other words, it said there was a man from the nation of Israel and a woman. That's all it says, and 24,000 people died. This week's parasha, Parashat Pinchas, it gives us the name. "V'shem ha'isha hamuka midyanit kozbi batzur, rosh umot bet av b'midyan hu." And it also lets us know, "V'shem ish Yisrael hamuka shehukah et midyanit Zimri ben Salum, nasi bet av leshimoni." So here we have their names. Okay. Question is, Zimri ben Salum, he's a head of Shimon, head of Shevet Shimon.
Tzaddik.
Big tzaddik, holy person. How does he fall? How is it possible that this holy person fell for this ploy? Not only that, the way that he did it. How was he able to do it publicly? And not only how did he do it publicly,
He must have thought it's not wrong.
you're on the money. Hi Isaac, welcome. Shalom Aleichem. Have a seat. How is it possible that he did it? Not only that, how is it possible that he did it in that way? Not only that, he also challenged Moshe. In order to begin the story, I'm going to take it backwards. Let's go back to last week's Haftarah. It says in last week's Haftarah, this is now this whole perush that I'm giving you, this whole drash, is from the Arizal and from the Rambam from Pano, that Rabbi Joey Haber from Brooklyn put it all together. So here it is. Last week's Haftarah talks about Yiftach HaGiladi. Yiftach HaGiladi just came back from war and he made a promise. He just came back from winning the war with the Ammonaim. He says, whoever comes out of the door of my house, the first person to come out of the door of my house is going to be a sacrifice to Hashem.
Who said that?
Yiftach HaGiladi.
Who is he?
Yiftach HaGiladi in Sefer Shoftim.
He was a Matzbi. He was a soldier, like a general.
How can you sacrifice someone?
He thought probably it would be an
Probably his
kosher
goat.
animal.
He probably thought his goat's gonna come in.
God, because in those days people had goats, all kind of things in their houses. I mean,
Gold, sheep.
It's not like these days.
That's what he was.
So who comes out?
Daughter.
His daughter comes out. His daughter comes out, and all of a sudden, he's got to take his only daughter and sacrifice her. Now, instead of killing her, she was sent away to a mountain. In other words, she wanted to honor her father's words. She said that this is the word that you gave. You know, they could have gone to a local rabbi. They could have gone to Pinchas. They could have gone to someone to, take this promise off. She said, no, Abba, you made this promise. I'm going to go live on top of this mountain my entire life. I'll stay a virgin. I won't marry. I'll do kivud av va'em. This week's parasha, we see that her name is Kozbi. The word Kozbi stands for Kozbi Zot Bat Yiftach. The word Kozbi, Kav Zayin Bet Yud, Kozbi Zot Bat Yiftach. We are now knowing the first Gilgul of this Midianite. She was the daughter of Yiftach.
How can she be the daughter of Yiftach if Yiftach is another 200 years forward?
No, this is a Gilgul after the story, not before.
ביתו של יפתח שיקם בגלגול של כאילו maybe
Kozbi,
to fix something.
she is Zot Bat Yiftach. In other words, Bat Yiftach, they don't say her name. She came to repair what Kozbi did.
Okay, you mean the daughter of Yiftach is the Gilgul of Kozbi.
Yes. By the way, the Chida brings that down. You see, Kozbi Batsur, who was she? She was the daughter of the Bet Av B'Midian. The head of Midian, she was his daughter.
She was a princess.
She was a princess. What does she tell? What did her father tell her? I want you to go into the nation of Israel and find their prince, and I want you to be with that prince. Even though that it's not a very honorable thing to send your daughter to go do znut with another man, but you know, to her credit, she did kibbut av va'em. She said, Abba, you say, okay, Abba, I'm going to do. And she went. And what happened when she went?
What did
She goes into Am Israel, and who did she bump into? She bumps into Zimri ben Salu. She goes to him, I'm looking for Moshe Rabbeinu. He goes to her, why are you looking for Moshe Rabbeinu? He says, I was told that he was the head. He goes to her, I'm also the head. So he convinces her that he is just as good as Moshe Rabbeinu and he should be with her. Now why would it be? Obviously Zimri over here had a feeling with this woman. He felt that she needed to be with him. He brings it to Moshe Rabbeinu. He goes, Moshe, she's Midianit. Is she allowed? He says, no, she's not allowed. He goes, oh really? Then how come Tzipporah is allowed? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. How come it's allowed for you and not allowed for me? He says, me, it's before we got the Torah. Now we have the Torah. You have to convert her. You have to do the proper thing. He didn't accept it. He did it anyways.
Before conversion.
He did it anyways. Another beautiful explanation that we got this week from Doron. He says, we're good? He comes to Moshe and he tells him, how come she's allowed to you? So Moshe tells him, because she's fixing my Gilgul. This is Tzipporah, is the twin, the extra twin that was during the time of Cain and Hevel. So he goes to him, you believe in Gilgulim? Then me too. Because this woman, Kozbi Batsur, she's the Gilgul of Dinah, and I'm the Gilgul of Shechem. So if you believe in Gilgulim, this is my Gilgul. So he says, yeah, but you're still not doing it through the proper channels, and he continued to do it. So what happened over there?
But
Here,
still, it's not explaining all
It's a long-
המעשה כל כך לא יפה שהוא עשה.
that's right.
It's okay, I can understand, you can argue with him and all this, but
Marad.
You have to let it come out.
and beyond
Yes,
any,
you have to let it come out. This is about a 3-4 stepper until it's going to make some sense.
Marad.
So now
still.
it's about 3-4 steps until it comes out. Let it come out. So comes Kozbi Batsur, that did Kibud Avvaem of the time of Midian, that her father told her, go to Midian and sleep with the prince of the Jewish nation. And she also becomes the Gilgul of Yiftach al-Giladi, where she says, Abba, I'm doing Kibud Avvaem over here. There I was for Znut, now I'm going to spend my rest of my life as a virgin, not ever going to be with a man. First tikkun. Here's the first tikkun. את זה לא שמעתי.
לא, לא.
אפשר.
אפשר, אבל זה... You could, but... Like a boy can be a girl, like...
גם יכול לבוא בגלגול של גוי, לא?
אבן גם כן.
לא, אבן כן.
אבן מכיר תצחק. זה הפסוק שלומדים. אבן מכיר תצחק. בסדר, תמשיך.
So he said, Kozbi. Kozbi Zod Bat Iftach. Let's go to the second part of her name. Bat Tzur. What does the Chidah say Bat Tzur stands for? Bat Tav'at Tzaddik Ve'eshet Rufus. Rufus. That's what Bat Tzur stands for. Bat Tav'at Tzaddik. Tav'a. In other words, she made him. She came to make him guilty. Rabbi Akiva. Oops, I'll go into it. Rufus was a Roman. Yes.
She was the second wife of Rabbi Akiva, no?
Yes.
Rufus, the Roman emperor, he always had like a...
Turn the camera.
He always had like arguments with Rabbi Akiva. I remember he like his wife. So Rufus's wife once said, you know what, I'm gonna try to stump Rabbi Akiva, and she failed. So then Rabbi Akiva, he laughed and he cried, and she's like, oh, why are you laughing and crying? So he's like, I'm laughing because you're gonna convert, and I'm crying because you're gonna be my wife, and that's what happened.
Exactly, you're touching that point exactly. So it says, Bat Avat Tzaddik.
So her husband was a doofus, not a Rufus.
So Rufus, the Roman emperor, was very upset that he kept having debate. They kept having a debate all the time with Rabbi Akiva, and he kept losing. He kept losing to Rabbi Akiva. So he comes to his wife and he says, Rabbi Akiva keeps beating me. What should I do? She's like, you know what? Don't worry, I'm going to get him for you. How am I going to get him? She says the same thing. I'm going to get him through Zima. The Jewish people, I can make him fall with that. So he goes, okay, go ahead, go be with him. Look, if Rufus the emperor sent his own wife, so when she came to get to make Rabbi Akiva fail, famous story. He laughed, he cried, and he spit.
Why did he spit?
Because he said that you come from a tipas rucha. That you come from nothing.
That beauty came from like nothing.
From nothing. He cried because he saw. No, he cried because he saw that one day she's going to die. And then he laughed because he knew that one day she's going to convert and be his wife, but he didn't tell her why he
left.
Why he left. You can actually find.
Rabbi Akiva היה לו שתי נשים?
No, Rabbi Akiva. This is Rabbi Akiva's wife. Now.
Second one.
What was the first one? What was the first one?
רבי עקיבא.
ביתו של...
עכשיו אני מבין.
היא הייתה אישה של רופוס, ואחר כך אישה של...
רבי עקיבא.
נפטר, הבעל נפטר.
So now what happens? You see over here that Kozbi over here ends up being with who? With Rabbi Akiva. That means that Zimri ben Salu is also Rabbi Akiva. What happened over here? Zimri ben Salu, in this week's Parashat in Pinchas, he comes and he has a feeling. You see this woman passing by him, and he's feeling that there's something going on with this woman. This woman belongs to me. He has a feeling. He has an intuition that this woman belongs to me.
לא, היא לא הייתה נשואה אז.
מי?
קוסבי בצור, לא
קוסבי לא
הייתה
הייתה
נשואה.
Oh,
No, because B over here was the daughter of the emperor. So he has a feeling. So he comes to Moshe. I have a feeling. He goes to Moshe. Tells him, I also had a feeling with Zipporah. She was also my reincarnation. He goes to him. I feel the same thing. What did he do? He went with that feeling. Even though that he knows 100% that he's 100% right. This is my wife from a previous reincarnation. She's my wife from when I'm going to be Rabbi Akiva. He felt it. But what's the problem over here?
Halacha.
What-
Halacha, you can't jump over.
What's the halacha? It's not what the feeling is. It's what the halacha. You're saying right now, I have a feeling I'm allowed to make a sin because it feels right? That means that we're going to do, everyone can say go by feelings.
No, so how you can explain it? That a tzaddik like this goes according to his feeling. And he knows
היה
that.
הזמן,
So here, he went with his feelings, he sinned, 24,000 people died, and
we're disciples of Rabbi Akiva.
And you see that he was, with Zimri and Cosbi, they both died together. If we fast forward now the story to the story of Rabbi Akiva, what's the story of Rabbi Akiva? Rabbi Akiva, we know that the 24,000 students died. That explains the 24,000 from the plague. But what happened with Rabbi Akiva? How did he die? Does anybody remember how he died?
אותו במסרקות של ברזל.
Raped by a
Ah, so good.
No, he got raped by a
They brushed the skin off his body. Now, you tell me, what does the body feel with?
Nerves.
With the skin, right? The body feels with the skin. The skin has feelings. Why did he die like that? Why was that his punishment? Because in the previous Gilgul, when he went with his feelings for the woman, his punishment was to take the skin that had the feelings. Midah keneged midah. You weren't supposed to use your feelings. There was a halacha. At that time, we already had the Torah. What's the rule? You have a feeling? Okay, take a converter, marry her, do a chuppah, do it properly. You didn't have to do it like that. That's why, when he was Rabbi Akiva, they brushed the skin off of him and it wasn't a different punishment. Because he went with his feelings when he was Zimri, that Rabbi Akiva, they brushed him. Now, very interesting. They said that during the time of the plague, Rabbi Yonatan ben Uziel says in his explanation, he says when that plague was going on, all Am Yisrael was doing what? Saying Shema Yisrael. No. The time of
שהייתה מגפה.
Shaitan Magefa, everybody was saying Shema Yisrael. And Rabbi Akiva, what was his thing when he died? What was he saying? All my life I'm waiting to say Shema Yisrael. Why? Why was that this one thing that he was holding on to? Because that's the tikkun. He says, while I was sinning, everybody was saying Shema Yisrael. Now I want to do the tikkun like them. I know I did something wrong. So when he died, he said again what? Shema Yisrael. Look how everything is turning from him being in this parasha, going for his feelings and going with Zimri. Later on, we see that he gets to marry the Gilgul of Cosbi when she is Rufus's wife. And he's Rabbi Akiva. We see that how his punishment. How about before that? Before this, what was them before? This is
24,000.
before that there were Cosbi and Zimri. Something very interesting. This is Doron shared with us this week.
Dina
He says there was Dinah and Shechem. Because if you remember, Shechem, how many people died in Shechem? 24,000. Same 24,000. Who was Zimri in this parasha? Shechem. And who was Cosbi? Dinah. Then he goes up and he says, listen, we all did the circumcision. We all did what we're supposed to do. I want to fix it. And this is where the previous Gilgul was Shechem and Dinah. So look at the traveling. Shechem and Dinah, Cosbi Zimri, Rabbi Akiva, and Rufus's wife, all the same story. Every time you see it, now you look at this 24,000 there, 24,000 here, and 24,000 there. It's like a clue for you to see where it is. Yes.
I have a question. Looking at all of this and hearing from other rabbis before about the Gilgulim and Sefer Gilgulim, and how it repeats from that time to the other to the other. It seems to me that all the history that we're living is the same thing. It's a repetition of something that who could say that we today are probably part of this. We're part is there. Maybe we don't know it. We're not aware of it, or did it stop at a particular time? Those Gilgulim, do we have people today that they are Rabbi Akiva, they are Moshe Rabbeinu, they are, is there such a thing, or is there people who are Kabbalists today who are able to see and identify?
I'm sure.
No, we don't have.
All I can tell you is there are reincarnations.
We have to be simple to do the mitzvot, and that's it. Not too much.
It's exactly that.
No, don't delve.
Benishai did know, but after that, we haven't heard.
Who was the Benishai in reincarnation? He knew. He said it. He talked about it.
So the whole point here, what do we learn from here? Sometimes, first of all, you have to know that we're one of the religions that believes in reincarnation. This is one story that the Arizal opened up for us. I'm going to tell one story about reincarnation, and then I'll sum it up, how it relates to our everyday. About 10 or 15 years ago, Rav Amnon Yitzchak was putting out videos on VHS.
The boy, Druze boy.
Yeah, and there's a famous story of a Druze boy. There's Druzim in Israel.
They believe in it, yes.
That live, they're like Arabs, good Arabs that live in Israel. That they don't cause any trouble.
They're not Arabs.
They're not
They're not Arabs. So what are they?
They would be very insulting.
So what are they?
Druze of a different thing. Druze.
They're not Arabs.
It's a different religion. It's not Arab. It's
A what?
religion.
The descendants
Of Yitro. They believe that the descendant of Yitro.
They're Chidush. They're the descendants of Yitro. Now take a look at this.
מה, אתה לא זוכר שהיה בבית כנסת בירושלים, שנכנס מחבל והרג כמה מתפללים, והחייל הדרוזי גם נהרג, הולך להגן עליהם, אז באו משלחת של דרוזים, שם היו רבנים וזה, אז הם אמרו, אתם כמו אחים, אנחנו זה של יתרו.
הדרוזים הם לא ערבים. הם לא מבינים
מה הדת שלהם?
הם לא נראים כמו ערבים.
זה לא נכנס לאסלאם, אבל זה לא ערבי. תגיד לדרוזי ערבי,
It's like an insult.
זה לא אינסולט, זה הרגת אותו.
גם לא מוסלמים.
לא מוסלמים.
זה ענף של האסלאם.
הם מאמינים ביתרו. ויתרו,
באמת יתרו את זה מהדרוזים, אתה יודע.
כן, זה מה
So the story.
הם דומים לערבים.
הם לא דומים לערבים, יש להם עיניים כחולות, הם יותר זה, הם לא דומים
So the
לערבים.
story goes that there was this one guy.
מדינת ישראל לא הייתה קיימת.
אפילו יהודים דומים לערבים.
אין מרגלים דרוזים, יש דרוזים במוסד, אבל הם לא הולכים להיות מרגלים בארצות ערב בגלל שהם לא דומים לערבים. ערבי ידע שהוא דרוזי. יהודי מארצות ערב, הערבי לא ידע שהוא יהודי, הוא יחשב שהוא ערבי כמוהו.
So the story goes like this. This Druze soldier was working, was in the Israeli army. It was during the time of the war in Lebanon. And him and his cousin happened to be in the same platoon. And they went to war. And in one particular mission, one of them got killed, the other one survived. And the story picks up where the rabbi brings a news article from Yediot Achronot of a little kid that says that he got reincarnated. And the story goes like this. A 3-year-old boy living in a Druze village at the age of 2 or 3 started to walk and talk. So he tells his parents all the time the name of his previous wife. He would say her name, whatever, let's say what her name was. Her name was, let's say, Saida. Listen, we're a small village, maybe you heard of her. They would take him to Saida.
He had a son too. He started saying the name.
We'll
of
get
his
there.
son. Yes.
So they started taking it to her. They thought maybe it's a small village. He wanted to visit.
This is the one that got killed. Is this the one that got killed when he went to?
He's the one that got killed.
In Lebanon.
Oh. In
Lebanon.
He was the one that got killed in a mission in Lebanon.
oh,
Now, in his village, someone had a baby.
זה היה בטלוויזיה, זה היה בטלוויזיה.
So now this kid now is asking to go see his wife. As time goes on and he starts to talk, he's starting to tell her, she's my wife. A 3-year-old, 4-year-old starting to say, this is my wife. Said, this is my wife. After a while, it started to get weird because he's saying things that it's not like a little kid can say it. So they bring in one thing, so because they themselves believe in reincarnation, so they said, okay, maybe he's reincarnated. They bring him back, they put him in the door and his wife, in the same room with his wife. He goes to her, you're my wife. He's a little kid. You're my wife. They say, prove it to me. He says, go into our closet. In our closet, there's a drawer. Inside the drawer, there's a picture of us from our first date.
No, his uniform. He had his number in the soldier. He told the number of his army. He said my number is this.
From there, they figured out that it was the reincarnation. They believed it, and you see the kid.
do they know their
He had the son with her. The son is 16 years old. He's 4, and his wife. The son is holding the hand of his father, and they walk to his gravesite.
Yeah.
And his cousin that was in the same mission, he sees him. And now as he gets older, they start to talk about the mission, what happened. He says, I remember I turned the corner and then there was a shooting. He was able to recall.
He describes the accident, how it happened.
It was amazing.
So reincarnation.
It was an Israeli Russian investigator who was not religious, who went in as a psychologist, and she interviewed him and published it like a thesis that she's publishing, not from the point of view of Yiddishkeit, but from the point of view of something like curious, that she appears there.
The point here, that was open to us, Galui. Here, the reincarnation, the guy was able to tell the story. In reality, the point I'm trying to make is that reincarnation is part of our everyday. It's part of our everyday. Sometimes we have things happen to us and we don't know what's the reason. We don't know what's the reason why things are happening to us. So we have spiritual baggage from a previous life, or maybe spiritual baggage from several previous lives.
All right, go ahead.
So you can see that there's many ways that sometimes when you come, it's not for us to dig in, who was I in a past life? Like Shlomo said, oh, we know we're Jewish, we do the mitzvot, we keep going. But sometimes no. When something comes up in your life and you don't know what it's about, just accept it. Maybe it's something that's connected to your previous Gilgul. Here we learned a little bit about it. That's what we wanted to say about Kozbi and Salu. Zivri ben Salu and Kozbi Batsur. Very, very interesting. Turn it around, let's do some chidushim around the room. Eli Bechavod. As we'll start with the
Shlomo likes to talk.
No, man.
Yes.
The story of Pinchas. Last night I was looking a little bit in the Zohar Balak by chance, and I guess this maybe will help Shlomo his question. How did he do such a thing? So this is what the Zohar there in Parashat Balak says. So I'm just kind of saying it over. Hopefully, pretty accurate. Midian, what they wanted to do, their plan was to bring down Moshe Rabbeinu. That was the plan. They needed to bring down Moshe Rabbeinu. Balak also had realized that is where the main problem lies in, that they have a Moshe Rabbeinu. Once you get rid of a Moshe Rabbeinu, they'll be able to deal with them. It will be like the end. And they had seen for some reason with their witchcraft, with their whatever they had, that the leader is the leader, a leader. It says there that they didn't see clear, which is a known thing with the Koach HaTum'ah. They can see things up to a point, but there's things they don't see. You don't always get it a clear picture like it is with the Ruach of Kedusha, that you can, if you are Ra'ul Lekach, to get a full picture. they saw that the leaders falling down. So they got all excited, and they started doing all kinds of kishuv and stuff, and they chose the Batsul, the daughter of this Nasi, or he chose her, whatever, and she was packed with witchcraft. She was packed with all kinds of hocus pocus, and the idea was to go and entice Moshe Rabbeinu and have him fall down. And that's it. You know, once he does the Avirah, it's done. And they all packed her up with and they told her, don't you dare go to anybody but Moshe. Only Moshe.
Okay.
So she asked the question, how in the world am I going to know who Moshe is, you know? So they gave her they told her, he's the type of person that they all honor. When he comes around, everybody stands up. So she's got all this kishuf on her, and she starts coming to the Mahane Israel. Why was it that Zimri ben Salu per se, okay, you can say because of the Gilgul, but I don't know, Al-Pi Pshat, why did it fall on him? Why not another Nasi? Why this? Why that? I don't know, you know.
Maybe because he was the Gilgul?
But that's not a reason to be machshil a person. In other words, it shows that this woman, whoever she's going to come to, will most probably fall down. He's going to fall down. He's not going to be able to stand up to all that witchcraft and Yetzer Hara that's going to build and drive him with an adrenaline of 2,000 who knows what, that he's not going to be able to hold his hormones. So why is it that they send her to him? Why he was the culprit? Why was he the black sheep? I don't know. Just because you were the Gilgul, that's not a reason. That's not enough of a reason. You can say he had Ga'ava maybe. It's brought down that you have Ga'ava, you can fall in these things. Okay. So anyway, so she shows up, and it says that she noticed this man coming along, and she sees 24,000 people standing up to him. It's the people of his Shevet. Oh, this is Moshe, that's Moshe. So she went ahead and enticed him and whatever. Just now saying, Shlomo was asking, why would he do such a thing? Now we have a different question. If that's the case, why do we blame him so much?
Because היא כישפה אותו.
כן, אז למה להעניש אותו כל כך? זה כאילו לא בידו עד כדי כך, זה היה ניסיון, אין לי תירוץ, you know, but that's what it says there. And זהו. By the way, Midian, they were eventually obliterated, all of them, because they sinned Am Yisrael. That they were the heads of this whole thing. The Zohar says that's why you don't find anything. They later on, each one of their descendants of those people that were there in that generation, all of them, their descendants, they later on, not right then, Yehoshua attacked them and whatever. But
Midian, where they come from? They don't come from Lot.
Okay,
Rega. We're exactly 10. Let's do a Kaddish for the young man. אתה יכול להגיד יש שם קדיש על ישראל.
תעשו את זה ונתחיל עוד הפעם.
אתם יודעים, אני מדבר רק על פשטות, אז עכשיו, מה כתוב? פנחס בן אלעזר, בן אהרון הכהן, השיב את חמתי.
מה זה השיב את חמתי?
נכון? אז זה כתוב. מה רש"י אומר? רש"י זה elaborating. הוא פנחס, כתוב הרי זה כתוב, פנחס בן אלעזר בן אהרון הכהן, נכון? אז למה רש"י צריך להגיד שהיו השבטים מבזים אותו?
כי אמא שלו.
זה נכון שאנחנו יודעים למה, אבל בתורה יש הרבה דוגמאות שכתוב זה וזה בין זה וזה, זה וזה בין זה וזה, הרבה שכתוב את כל השושלת שלהם. ולא כתוב למה אמרו את זה. לא כתוב, כי אומרים ככה, אמרו את השושלת שלהם. אז למה פה דווקא הוא היה צריך להגיד את זה? הסיבה לכך, בגלל שבסוף הפרשה הקודמת של בלק, הוא אומר, הוא כותב שזה פנחס בן אלעזר בן אהרון הכהן. ועכשיו יש רפיטישן. אז בגלל הרפיטישן הזה, אז רש"י נותן את ההסבר הזה. אחרת הוא לא היה נותן את ההסבר הזה. אחרת הוא לא נותן את ההסבר, כי הרבה בתורה יש כאלה שאנחנו הזכירו את השמות שלהם. למשל, את בצלאל, ואת אוהליאב, ואת המרגלים, ואת קורח, ואת כל אלה. אומרים שהם בני זה וזה וזה, אבל לא, אין את ההסבר, רש"י לא נתן את ההסברים, את ההסבר הזה, רק פה הוא נתן את ההסבר. אז זהו, that's why. זה מה שקרה, להבין את רש"י, למה רש"י כותב משהו. זה לא סתם הוא כותב, יש סיבה. אוקיי.
Wait, we have David over here, 1 second.
So, just like a small thing, but in this parsha, something I feel is looked over is that there are 5 daughters that there are these 5 sisters that they don't have any brothers, right? And they had a sincere love for the land, so they went to Moshe and they said, Moshe, how come we're not, since we don't have any brothers, is my father?
It's not in this parsha?
It is.
It is.
שבט מנשה.
בנות צלופחד. It's in
אני
this
חושב
parsha.
שזה היה...
No, this is in this parsha. They come to him.
And so it's like,
Sorry.
and so
Welcome.
they say our father, he's not gonna get anything part of the land because he has no one's gonna inherit it from him. So then, so Moshe makes the allowance. So who else do we know that has a sincere love for the land and from an earlier generation? Yosef, he asked that his bones be buried in Mitzrayim besides all the other reasons, also for his sincere love of the land. So they were descended from Yosef as they were from Menashe. So yeah.
It's a good connection. You know what's interesting when I read the parasha? They mentioned almost everybody's kids except for Moshe.
מה?
I don't know. I have to look into it. But
מה? לא הבנתי.
they don't mention Moshe's kids.
באופן כללי, I think big people, their kids, leaders, their kids won't be in power like them because a leader like Moshe did not have time to take care of his kids, to teach them. He was the leader of Am Israel, not the leader of his home. So he was with God all the time. He did not have time to sit with them, to teach them. So they become like they become like Klal Israel. They went to listen to him, Paulie, when all Klal Israel. They learned Torah, the same like everybody else from him. So I think that's the reason.
But not to mention them?
Cause why to mention it?
Because they mentioned everybody else.
Like whom?
The whole parasha is families' names.
הוא לא מזכיר את הילדים שלו בכלל?
No. Here, בני מנשה למחיר משפחת המחירים, מחירו לגלעד משפחת הגלעדי, אלה בני גלעדי, יזר משפחת העזרי, לכם משפחת קיב, ועשריאל משפחת ישראלי, ושכם משפחת השכמי, ושמידה משפחת השמדי, ויחם משפחת השמי, וצרפחד מחפר, they give all the names. Moshe doesn't get a little bit mention of his children?
This is the names of the tribes, from the tribes.
No, the families.
The
It
families
says that
of
when
the
they got to
tribes.
Levi, when they got to Levi, it says over there all the names of Aaron, of all the Keati, Merari, but it doesn't mention Moshe's kids. Anyway, we have to find out. Just a question.
It mentions one kid of Moshe, and then he says he had many descendants. He doesn't mention the many names, but he mentions the first and the
שתי
second.
ילדים, לפי התורה.
No, if it's not in this parasha, it's in another one. But
Maybe it wasn't over here.
I read.
Let's go to Adam.
Take this bottle.
I think I got this from
Isaac,
Roy Sasson.
take the bottle of
I
Sprite.
cannot hear you, Adam. Sorry.
I either got this Torah lesson from Roy Sasson or from Rabbi Sheaf. I'm not sure who. So Parashat Pinchas, Pinchas did a big mitzvah, a big deed, and after he did it, he got blessed by Hashem with the covenant of peace. So what's a covenant of peace? He was able to he was able to live much longer than everybody else. I don't know the exact number, but I know it was a lot more. I don't know, maybe 100 years or different more. If anybody knows.
Pinchas.
It was during the time of the Shoftim.
Pinchas was capable of living maybe 100 years more than everybody else.
And then became
So
Eliyahu.
what was this? What was this like? Witchcraft? What is this? Covenant of peace. He's able to instantly live longer than everybody else. So the answer is the body's created to deteriorate. Everything, all the body parts eventually deteriorate after usage and time. People grow old, and bones and everything deteriorates. So what was the covenant of peace? Hashem gave him peace in his heart and peace in his mind. And what happened, because he had peace in his heart and peace in his mind, none of his body parts ever had conflict. And because none of his body parts ever had conflict, he was able to naturally live longer than everybody else. And that's what you can learn from just being at peace. When you have peace in your mind, peace in your heart, no conflict, when nothing's colliding, you'll be able to be healthy and live longer.
Beautiful. Eliyahu.
Eliyahu זה פנחס.
אליהו.
אני הצלם.
אליהו זה
אני
פנחס.
רק אוזניים יש לי.
הרב, אתה יודע איפה
אני מקשיב, אחי.
ה-air condition? הוא אמר שיש air condition בשביל הילדים.
שלמה.
אני שמעתי,
לא נשכח את זה.
I heard once about the concept of reincarnation and Gilgul from somebody that, not from this area here, but is a Jew and is a person who apparently read about this, that the reincarnation, it's a concept that includes not only in the way we know, like I used to think, okay, the spirit of somebody lives in you, in the way, but it says that sometimes you can even absorb an aspect of a person.
Eibur.
Eh?
It's called Eibur.
Eibur. I have heard that word, but I can't remember exactly what it is. Eibur.
Boo, it's like another soul gets into your body
Yeah?
while you're alive.
Yeah, so like if you
It's like in
meditate,
Shabbat, like every Shabbat
Yeah.
you get an extra neshama.
if you
go to
meditate on a person and you admire one of their leaders, Rabbi Akiva or Abraham Avinu or Moshe Rabbeinu or Isaac or whatever, and you're absorbing some of the. It's maybe not a complete Gilgul in the way we understand it, but you get some of that in you because you are admiring it. And in Judaism, it's very psychological. We play a lot of emphasis on the kavanah, what the person. If you do something with kavanah, if you don't do with kavanah, it's not good. Many times in Judaism, and the kavanah is so important that
I don't think so. I think that in Judaism, the action is more important than the kavanah.
It depends on that.
Because the main thing that you do, if, for example, you have a poor person, so I have a kavanah to help him, but I did not give him a penny, so what's my kavanah?
זה
will help
תלוי,
him in life?
זה תלוי מה,
You
for
know.
example, אתה מתפלל בלי כוונה, אם אתה עושה ברכה בלי כוונה, ואתה...
אבל יש הרבה דברים שאתה קורא ואין לך כוונה, אתה לא מבין אותם בכלל.
But
אתה צריך
the main
לקרוא
thing
אותם.
is
No. But I know what I'm talking about.
No, I know what you
Well,
mean.
I know what you're saying, and אני מסכים.
But with Shema, before you say, you have to have in mind that you're doing a commandment from the Torah. It's part of it. You have to
Many times, like,
I understand.
there are many mitzvot, for example, if I want to lehotzi somebody as a bracha, I've heard this many times. You have to have in mind the others. If you don't do it, So this is what I'm talking.
There are things that
No.
you have to, there are things
I know,
that
I
it's
know.
better to do it even if you don't have kavanah.
I know.
Because
But
the poor person will die.
I was saying this because there was a time, I have debated people saying that anti-Semitic people who say that Jews are a race or they're racist. This say that's not true. If Judaism was a race, I wouldn't be able to convert. Like I could not become a Ku Klux Klan member, even if I believed it, because you have to belong.
Sfaradim if it was
So
racist.
this is about when I'm saying about how important it is in Yiddishkeit, in Judaism, the psychology, the idea that we convert a person because of one idea. The person has the idea, even if the person looks totally African or Chinese or white or whatever, but the psychology, the soul of the person. And in the same way, this idea of meditating in one leader, in one person that you admire, whether it is this leader, this rabbi, or this avot, or whatever, you absorb some of that.
I heard something just 2 days ago about something what you're saying.
That's all.
Rabbi Mansour says, he was learning about this Gilgulim, and he says you have to imagine like a chandelier with 1,000 lights. And there's only 3 lights that are broken. You're not going to replace the whole chandelier, you're just going to replace the 3 lights. He says sometimes a person came to this world, he's like the chandelier. He did everything, but 3 things are missing. So for those 3 little bulbs that are missing, he goes back into somebody else, and he does the tikkun through that person, an eibur, just to fix those 3 lights, not the entire thing all over again. So in the morning, what do we say? Baruch shelo asani goy, Baruch shelo asani aved, Baruch shelo asani isha. They say over there, sometimes you have to pray and you have to have kavanah that you hope for, that the eibur that they give you, or that special soul that they give you, that it's not the one that has of an eved, or that it's not the one of an isha, and not the one of a goy. Because sometimes the way the guy behaves, sometimes they do an eibur of him, of that, and all of a sudden the guy has the characteristic, or he starts to act a little bit like a woman, complains a little bit, everything bothers him, or sometimes he acts like a goy. He completely is not like acting like a Jew, or doesn't have the mentality of a free man, always like constricted. He's always tied in. I'm locked into to my financial situation, locked into my physicality, like an eved. They say, be careful what you pray for. When you have to have the kavanah, shelo asani goy, shelo asani aved, shelo asani isha, that eibur that they give you is not going to be one of those. Because sometimes a small part of a soul of somebody else comes and does a trip on you to do the tikkun.
בשביל זה אומרים, מאחלים לך שיהיה לך בן זכר. בן זה זכר, למה בן זכר? כי יש הרבה זכרים שהם כמו נקבות. אז שיהיה לך בן שהוא באמת זכר. כן. לא, אומרים ש80% מהגברים בעולם הם כמו נקבות. ויאמנו.
Yes.
You're saying that.
כל העולם, לא שהיהודים או לא יהודים.
You're saying that we pray that we don't have like the soul of a slave or a woman or a goy.
That it doesn't attach to us.
Oh.
That aspect. Like
That aspect doesn't get attached to you, because sometimes, according to how the person behaved the day before, Hashem gives him the next day an eibur of that type of soul to go with him for the next day.
So ibur means it's not gigul. What's the difference between
Ibur is like an
Ibur is
eibur.
like
What's the right word for eibur in English?
So the ibur.
Gilgul is very simple.
Ibur with
Reincarnation.
The rabbi.
The neshama, when the person dies, the neshama goes up. Okay, for whatever reason, the neshama is not done 100%. She needs to still fix something. So she's not come down. So she comes into another body, like born and reborn. But that neshama goes into that body, and that's the only neshama that's inside that body. You follow?
Mhm.
Ibur is like a pregnancy. What's a pregnancy?
Ma'ubar.
Me'ubar.
So that's like, you have the regular neshama, and that neshama mit'aberet ba some other neshama.
It's attached to it.
Yes. Yes.
So you have two?
Yeah, you can even have 4 or something. I just read here you might have something like that. But yes, that's called mit'aberet. Okay?
So how does it work?
Many times it's brought down as like a person who's doing very good avodat Hashem. It happens to be, there's so much he can do. Or his neshama, he didn't get that top of the line neshama. So mit'aberet bo nishmat tzaddik.
Give him a boost.
To help, to boost them up.
זה מה שהחזון היא, שבא הילד האוטיסט, ואומרים שהוא קם מהמקום, והוא אמר, אתם לא יודעים איזה נשמה יש מעוברת בו, בילד הזה?
But get it. Yeah, the autistic, that's the reason is they say that all these deformed children that cannot do, they say they have big neshamot because these big neshamot have to still be here for whatever reason, but then they want to guard them that they should not do averot. So the only way is that they should come into an autistic, or these guys that are not ben da'at, so they are patur.
כן, אבל
My daughter told me
הבעיה
that
אם הוא
they're very
פטור,
smart. There's something that they're very, very smart. There are things, okay, they don't know, but there are things that they're very, and you don't know what they know and what they don't know also. With them, with autistic, you don't know.
They don't know averot. They know mada, science maybe, but they don't have the evil. They don't know how the evil yetzer hara.
But they don't have evil, but they can tell you about people who are evil.
Yeah.
They have feeling.
כן. הנה, אמרת...
About 10 years ago, that was in
בן אדם עובר, בן אדם מתקרב אליהם, הוא קם לצרוח.
much.
הוא יודע שהוא בן אדם לא טוב, אנחנו לא יודעים את זה.
הוא מכיר.
להבדיל,
רואים?
להבדיל, זה לא כלב. כלב, תראה בן אדם עם בעל הדרך. הוא נובח. ובא בן אדם אחר, הוא משחק איתו, למה? הכלב,
יש לו נבואה.
הוא רואה מה שאנחנו לא רואים בבן אדם. הוא יכול לדעת אם זה בן אדם רע או לא.
זה כתוב באיזה
הוא יודע. אתה יכול לראות כלב נובח לבן אדם, ובא עוד אחד בן אדם שלא מכיר.
כלבים, נשים וילדים יש להם נבואה.
אגיד לך סיפור. אבא שלי.
דרך אגב, זה גם קטנים.
ילדים ונשים ותינוקות.
נשים אני לא יודע, אבל אני יודע, תינוקות.
וזה, אתה מבין?
וכלבים.
הם יודעים את הרשע ואת הצדיק.
שהם יכולים לראות את הפנינות של הבן אדם.
אני עובדת עם
קשה להסביר את זה.
ילד בבוקר.
It was a street dog across the street from my house in Bogota. He parked himself across the street. These are street dogs, Chaim Barchov, but he got used to, and there was an embassy across the street, so he used to be there, the dog. He was a nice fellow. There was a guard there all the time in a little cabin, and he's supposed to be up through the night. And many times the patrol comes to check that they're not sleeping. But the dogs, they were falling asleep many times. So the dog used to sense, when the car would come, which car was coming, he would start barking his head out.
To wake up the
guard. That was one thing. But then he became also attached to our house. My father was sick at the time, and he needed rest. But people hear the rabbi is sick, they want to come visit. So there's visits and visits. There's sometimes people just make political visits. It doesn't look nice that I don't go see the rabbi, but it's a headache. It's a pain in the neck, this visit. So I remember this man coming to me to shul complaining, and he wasn't the type of person that you want his visit that much. It's a pain in the neck. It's just. So he says, I don't know. I came to visit your father. I don't even get to ring the bell, and this dog comes barking at me. I had to leave. And I know that hundreds of people come and nothing.
You didn't want him to be there.
It's another interesting story.
זה אני יכול לקרוא בוודאות שאני יודע שזה נכון.
It's another story.
A lot of things that we don't know.
Another story with him. The 2 doors. A maid used to give him leftover food from the house to the dog to eat. 2 doors down, this other Goyish lady decided why give him all these leftovers, so she went to the butcher shop. She mamash got good bones and this and that. She cooked. She brings it to the dog won't eat it. So So she goes up to the maid and says, why is it I go buy good stuff and this? You just give him leftovers. Yours he eats and mine he doesn't eat. So the maid answered him, don't you know he only eats kosher?
Because he was used to the kosher food.
And there was once after my father died, so we sold everything in the house.
שים להם את זה, אני זוכר.
The living room, the dining room, the bedrooms, all the furniture, whatever stuff we had. But my mother made up with all the buyers that they all come on this particular Sunday is pickup day from sunrise to sunset. Till then, she wanted to have everything in the house so we can sleep, we can this. And on this particular Sunday, you all come, you take everything out, and that's it. And she goes. And we went for a few days to a motel, and then we came to Miami. I'm telling you, I didn't know what to do. That dog was watching what was going on.
He knew.
He understood that moment what it meant. He was so depressed.
Really?
He had tears coming down.
Maybe he was a gilgul of somebody, of a person.
Yalla.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.